Welcome to KCAL 9 News at 9, and we're streaming on CBS News Los Angeles. I'm Pat Harvey.
And I'm Juan Fernandez. Ukraine's president is set to address Congress tomorrow as Russia's bombardment of his country intensifies.
At the same time, President Biden is expected to announce more money for security assistance for Ukraine as he prepares to address NATO next week. Now, here is a live look at Ukraine's capital, Kyiv, where everyone is under a 35-hour curfew, which began yesterday. It lasts until 7 a.m. Thursday.
Russia's assault has picked up with near constant shelling and airstrikes of residential buildings. KCAL 9's Lori Perez joins us now live with the very latest. Lori.
There are a lot of moving pieces at the moment. President Biden says he'll head to Europe next week as he continues to consider the political, military, and humanitarian implications of how the U.S. can and should help Ukraine. This as bombing continues and expands across the country. The number of casualties is growing, and worst fears have been realized.
Mariupol people are living in hell, and situation in Mariupol are catastrophic.
A blunt and bloody assessment from the deputy mayor of Mariupol, who describes people now being held against their will, unable to follow their fellow Ukrainians to safety. An estimated 3 million Ukrainians have fled the lethal air attacks.
The Russian army use doctors and patients as hostages in this building, so we do not have any access to them, and of course it's war crime in any way.
With no signs of Russia stopping the bloodshed, in fact, with signs of it intensifying, President Biden will join a historic meeting of all 30 NATO countries in Brussels next week to see what they collectively can do to help. Ukraine's president will no doubt have some suggestions when he addresses Congress Wednesday. He's expected to reiterate his plea for a no-fly zone over the country. He made an emotional pitch to Canada's Parliament Tuesday.
Can you imagine when you call your friends, your friendly nation, and you ask, please close the sky, close the airspace, please stop the bombing? How many more missiles have to fall on our cities until you make this happen?
President Biden has resisted the move, saying it could lead to an all-out war because NATO pilots would directly engage the Russians. Biden has signed legislation sending $13 billion in military and humanitarian aid, but is starting to hear from Republicans and Democrats to do more, including sending Polish MiGs to bolster Ukraine's Air Force.
My concern is if we don't help them to control the bombardments from the skies, that the Russian military will dominate entirely.
Pushed on why the White House seems to be assessing something different than the need for warplanes and jets, the White House said this.
The Ukrainian Air Force has several squadrons of fully mission-capable aircraft.
The Russians are dominating in Kyiv, where there's a 35-hour curfew now in effect. The shelling in the capital is nonstop. Bombs killed at least 4 people inside their apartments Tuesday. Still, the prime ministers from Poland, the Czech Republic, and Slovenia are risking their lives to meet there with Ukraine's president. Their bold solidarity echoed by locals along Ukraine's Black Sea coast, where Ukrainians captured Russian armored vehicles and turned them against them. Local Governor Vitaly Kim posting the spoils on social media in a video that has gone viral. He says civilians are slowing and maybe even stopping the Russians.
And how long will you have to fight the enemy?
To the victory or to the death. There's 2 ways only.
From West Hollywood, a Ukrainian family is watching the acts of hope and horror. The Belkins fled right as the war was starting. 17-year-old Ivan shared this video he says neighbors took of soldiers and tanks moving into his grandfather's backyard in Berdyansk. He says he, his 10-year-old sister, and their mom waited in the cold in a line 3 miles long to cross into Poland.
So the war started, and then my mom and my sister, they had to come to me because they wanted to get me out. They couldn't come back to Berdyansk because it was already surrounded by the troops and everything. They had barely any clothes. They had barely like anything with them. But we had to leave. We had no choice.
Now, Ivan says he had to stay positive for his mom, even though he was very scared, and he wants the war to end as he is so worried about his family and friends who were not as lucky to leave.
All right, thanks so much, Lori. Now, breaking news.